All right, let's dive in. Today we're tackling something pretty profound, grace and forgiveness.
Yeah.
Specifically, how they're portrayed in the Old and New Testaments.
Mm-hmm.
We've got this really thought-provoking source material
It really is.
that explores how divine forgiveness and human forgiveness sort of
Right.
intertwine.
Yeah, and I think what's so interesting about this particular source
Yeah.
is it doesn't present it like a simple evolution
Oh,
from one testament to the next.
right.
It really digs into all these different
Oh.
facets of grace.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
And speaking of facets, one thing that jumped out at me
Yeah.
was the whole concept of covenant in the Old Testament.
Mm.
It seems super important for understanding grace in that context.
Absolutely. When you think about grace in the Old Testament,
Yeah.
it's often tied to God's covenant with Israel.
Right.
It's like a sign of his faithfulness to his promises,
Oh, I see.
his commitment to his people.
So it's a relationship,
Like a reciprocal one built on loyalty and love.
but is there a conditional aspect to it?
That's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because the text stresses obedience to the law,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
But then it also shows God offering grace even when people mess up.
Oh, so there's like a tension there.
Exactly. There's this beautiful tension, like the
Yeah.
story of Jonah,
Oh, yeah.
that highlights God's compassion
Right.
and his willingness to forgive even disobedience.
It's like grace kind of has these two sides.
It does. It's multifaceted. God's faithfulness to the covenant,
Yeah.
but also this incredible mercy.
And then you shift to the New Testament.
Yes.
And suddenly, grace,
It explodes
it's like amplified.
through Jesus,
Yeah.
right? It becomes this radical thing,
Uh-huh.
a universal offer
Mm-hmm.
of forgiveness and salvation for everyone who will accept it.
And that's what this source really emphasizes, this
Yeah.
unconditional love
Mm-hmm.
and forgiveness no matter what you've done.
Yeah. The idea is that through Jesus' sacrifice,
Right.
humanity gets a new covenant,
Oh, wow.
one based entirely on grace and forgiveness.
So it's not about the law anymore.
No, it's about receiving God's love,
Yeah.
which is a free gift.
It's like this beautiful outpouring of grace.
It is.
And the text argues that it should inspire us
It should.
to forgive others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're called to embody that same forgiveness,
Even when it's hard.
especially when it's hard, because it breaks the cycle of resentment
Right.
and leads to reconciliation.
So we've gone on this journey
We have
through grace and forgiveness.
from the Old Testament to the New.
And as you reflect on all this,
Mm-hmm.
think about where you see this interplay
Yeah.
of grace and forgiveness.
In your own life.
Yeah, in your own life.
Yeah.
How do these concepts empower you
Right.
to approach relationships
Uh-huh.
and the world
Hmm.
with compassion and understanding?
Yeah.
It's a question worth pondering.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah.